Did we speak about plug? And how I figured out what plug was? Like I had these kids say, Uncle, you're the plug. And I was like, what's a plug? Because you know, you're the contact point to my gates, the zesa, to switch on the light.
You're officially old. You're officially old.
You know what makes it even older? I'm the one who told him that. Yeah.
But no, in my defense. No, in my defense, did I ask you? Did I ask you?
There you go.
So why don't you just stop me up before I carry on? Oh my god.
Mine looks like the Voltron head.
I know, right? Because you got that. Hey, McCullough.
Alright, cool. I'm recording.
Hanzi hona bara apundiri botan Hanzi akasara.
Welcome to Uncommon Sense. My name is Zash.
Rudy.
My name is Gui.
And the topic today is, well, I don't know what the topic is. We kind of just let it flow last time.
Yeah,
so like maybe we'll
probably name it at the end.
Yeah.
Like we do with everything.
That's a better thing to do. Personally, I think it's going good.
But you had something interesting this week?
Yeah. So, and I have strong opinions on this, but I'll just state the facts so far. So there is a person who was a Christian missionary. His name, I believe, is John Chau, and he went to some indigenous, to some island with an uncontacted tribe. So this tribe has not seen humanity, like they've been living by themselves for the last 10,000 years, however long, right? No contact with outside human society, no idea what an iPhone is, no idea what a letter is. They've just like been by themselves and living their lives. This Christian missionary decides these guys need to know about Jesus. And he goes over there. There's a law that says that you cannot go to uncontacted tribes. But he decided that no, I'm going to go and I'm going to take my message. He asked a fisherman to take him part of the way there because the fisherman didn't want to go to the island. And he then took his own boat, paddled out to the island, and he was killed by the tribe. I believe they took his body, they displayed it on the beach as like a warning or whatever. And the U.S. he was a U.S. citizen. The U.S. government has decided that they're not going to go retrieve the body, but they ended up arresting the fisherman who took him there. And I'll leave it at that. Thoughts, guys? Thoughts?
I'll let you go first. Uncle Rudy.
That dude was crazy. Christian or non-Christian, that dude was crazy.
Authorities say the 26-year-old was killed, possibly by bow and arrow, on what police described as a misplaced adventure in a highly restricted area to a remote island east of India in the Andaman Sea. He was trying to meet and convert the Sentinelese, an endangered tribe photographed here in 2004 that's been isolated for centuries and rejects contact with outsiders who might expose them to disease.
My assumption is he must have known. If he took time to understand where this island was, yada yada yada, he must have known that it was not permitted for him to actually go there. And I think for you to call yourself a Christian but you have no respect of the law that's been put in place, it's catch-22, because I suppose the Bible is telling him to go ye forth, all right, and preach the good word. But was he doing it in Brooklyn? Was he doing it in Kansas or wherever he's from? For him to now think, no, let me tell you what, I'm going to go as far out and as remote as you can and do that. Now, missionaries, when they came, correct me if I'm wrong, they came. Not he, not she, they. And they had guns. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is he went by himself to a tribe that does not even understand the language that he comprehends. You know what I mean? Or that he speaks. So you go there and now you want to preach the good word. You're an enemy. and you've come by yourself, and it doesn't matter what you're going to say, you're going to die.
It was awful.
According to journals and emails published by the Washington Post, Chau attempted to reach the tribe by boat in the days before his death, but was shot at with an arrow, which pierced his waterproof Bible. He wrote to family, "You guys might think I'm crazy and all this, but I think it's worthwhile to declare Jesus to these people. God, I don't want to die." In a statement shared on his Instagram account, Chau's family wrote, "Words cannot express the sadness we have experienced about this report. He had nothing but love for the Sentinelese people. We forgive those reportedly responsible for his death."
No, you bring something interesting. So maybe let's set that context. So this is his job. His objective in life is to find uncommunicated to people and communicate to them the gospel. So now you're all judging and saying that he's a fool, he's an idiot. But he was doing what he was supposed to do.
No, I'm sorry, it's arrogant. I'm in India, I'm a Christian and I do believe in certain things, but I also feel that like that missionary thing is something that I think it's something that we need to stop in that sense. Because what usually ends up happening is, I can't remember, there's that movie Silence, where there was like the Christian missionaries who went to Japan in like the 1600s or something like that, and there was such a great line from that really stuck with me. And one of the Japanese people that arrested one of the missionaries was like, "You guys come here to teach and teach and teach, but not to learn. You haven't figured out what, like, you are arrogant to think that like we've been here for however many years without your God, without your Christianity, but you come here and you've used it to now say that this is the right way, that whatever you guys are doing is not right." And it goes, like, in my opinion, Christianity is one of the biggest erasers of culture in the world. Like, even I can't remember, like, I heard this Polish woman on the radio who was saying that they got Christianized in the year 1000 or something around there, but they have no idea what they considered sacred before that. Like, I think you're fine. They have no idea what was considered sacred.
One click is okay. You get like 2 or 3 and you start getting concerned.
Get the glue up.
But yeah, they had no idea what was considered sacred before that. I want to be very clear. When I'm talking about Christianity, maybe I should say the church, where I feel like it was men, arrogant men who had their own idea in their head, where they didn't really, and I don't feel like that is the Christian message. I do believe that like Christianity can work for people who have not been exposed to that culture, but I don't believe that it can only do that by erasing their culture and then like supplanting their culture. Actually, it is a replacement of culture. It must be something which acknowledges, okay, fine, this is what you guys did. We don't quite understand it, but we're not going to call it red demon. But we're going to be like, okay, fine, we don't understand it. Let's try and understand it. But this is also what we have. And then the people must then make their decisions on, okay, fine, this is what we keep, this is what we take, and so on and so forth, which is what any culture is allowed.
But was his mission to teach them about God, or was his mission to modernize them? Because I think sometimes, and I think what's happened in the past is that you've had those two lines go like that, you know. So yes, your intentions are right, but as time went on, from the time of Paul, where Paul would just go into Jesus, and that's it. You know what I mean? He's not telling you, but already in that time, there was conversation about, okay, women, this is how you should look, and this is how you should dress, and whatever. So there was, in essence, even in the Bible, correct me if I'm wrong, a certain way of saying, this should be how, you know, externally you're presenting yourselves. But it's because of the problems. So in context, it was the problems that people were facing at that point in time. And then there was the trying to sort that out. Now, was this guy going to go there, pray for people, and let the Holy Spirit do his work? Or was he going to go there and say, this is a phone? this is a this, this is a that, you know, and try and get people to now, I don't know,
So
you know,
think of it this way, right? If this is an uncontacted tribe,
yeah,
they don't have books. So how are you supposed to read
they
them?
don't
the
know
Bible?
English.
They don't know English, so you need to teach them English.
Wait, we're in danger of having two different
Context.
conversations.
Uh,
Are you upset that he went, or you're upset in the way that he went and approached it? So are you guys saying no, he shouldn't have gone, or you're saying he should have gone a different way?
I'm saying he shouldn't have gone.
I'm also saying that he shouldn't have gone.
Okay, so now we can have.
But
that
I think my reason to his is different though.
Okay, go.
I think just from the word go, the fact that this is uncharted territory, has he done his background work to actually understand what tends to happen? Because I remember about 4 or 5 years ago seeing this article or something. It's one of those YouTube videos. That's why I feel I'm dumb, because I keep watching YouTube videos. But it was a YouTube video showing a particular tribe, and a helicopter was actually coming down. It was Brazil or something. And this tribe went berserk.
Oh, I've
They
seen
went
these videos. I've
absolutely
seen these
berserk.
videos,
And
yeah.
then the helicopter carries on, or whatever. And then from there, the Brazil government then said that this tribe, untouched. Don't touch them, leave them as is. You know what I mean? Listen, a lot of things happened in the past, Guinyai, to black people, by people who came saying they came with the word of God, right? And by people who came and then took some of our people and took them away, and all in the name of what? Do you see what I mean? So there are certain parts of the way it was done. So it's the same thing with land redistribution. I don't think it's wrong because it is our land, right? But I think the way it was done was wrong. In that there was violence, there was death, there was turmoil, there was no repayments to the people who had the land already. Same thing for the way that I think humans have now carried on the message of the gospel. I think it could have been done differently.
This was a dangerous trip both for the missionary and the tribe.
It was incredibly dangerous for him and foolhardy thing to have done, but even more dangerous for the Sentinelese themselves. They are the most isolated tribe on earth.
Tonight, authorities are working to figure out how to recover Chau's remains without further disturbing the tribe.
What was his motivation? Did he speak to someone and say, listen, there's this tribe, I'm really feeling that I need to go and give them the good word? Why couldn't he have gone with people? There was a certain amount of arrogance from my point of view.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he have gone with 20, 30 people?
We're still confusing two issues. Should he have gone
I
at
said
all
no.
to begin with? You're saying no, but you're then now explaining about how he should have done it.
Yes.
But you're saying the reason
Yes.
why. Why are you saying he should have gone?
I think the conversation has now moved on to missionaries and the idea of missionaries, I feel like.
No, let's stick with this guy because let's mourn him for a little bit. Let me go back to what Bree's asking. Should he have gone? Yes or no? I think he could have gone were the circumstances different. One, are you permitted to do it? Right? Two, because if you're now assuming that you're gonna go there and stay, just look at the logistics of him going to that joint. It doesn't even make sense.
Okay,
But
so
you
I'm
don't
giving
wanna
too
go
much
and
credit.
teach.
My assumption is if you're going to a place of people that you don't know that have been uncontacted, you know they don't speak English, you know they have a completely different culture. It's not like he's going to show up and start speaking to them in English. So it's not like they're going to understand
What was he
his
gonna
full
speak to them?
conversation.
What was
So
he
my
gonna do?
assumption is he was going to learn of some sort and to try and immerse himself into the culture to then be able to impact and influence them. Because there's no other way
But that's
for
what
him to contact and communicate and engage with
But
them.
that's what I'm saying.
And engage with
But
them.
that's what I'm saying.
And engage with
But
them.
that's what I'm saying. Progress.
Sorry. We've got a running thing, and I apologize. I'm gonna, before we finish this season or whatever, this thing will be transformed to what it's supposed to be. So just bear with me whilst we do it. Sorry, carry on.
No, I was going to say that's in itself, right? Even if you're going to then learn the culture, right? At a certain point, you are bringing in something which is only going to do one thing: supplant their culture.
What do you base that assertion on.
Okay, so if I come to you and I now want to teach you, let's say cell phones don't exist.
Yeah.
I want to teach you about cell phones. So I come and I say, Nina, I've been here in Japan using my cell phone for the last 10 years. I want to come to you here in Kazakhstan and teach you about but let me find out how you guys use phones first, right? And so then I'm now showing you, and I'm now looking at how you use pagers and pay phones, and you've got your little black books and like all of that sort of stuff. At some point when I'm now teaching you that this is the new thing, right? That this is the Ningirini, it's going to replace some part of your life.
Yeah.
In order for them, because maybe they were here and they were like every Sunday, this was probably problematic. Every Sunday they were sacrificing part of their harvest for what's it called, for whatever their version of Mwari was, or for whatever they deemed necessary.
Yeah.
So now you come and you say that, listen, sacrificing and all of this type of stuff, it can't be done anymore. Okay, why can't it be done anymore? Because there was this one called Jesus. Okay, who's this own Jesus? Oh, he lives in this other country. Oh wait, where's this other country? You are basically, there's no way to explain it.
Hold on,
you can't explain it without...
You've gone to the massive extremes, or like about
No,
supplanting and removing culture.
let me-
Any sort of learning and knowledge and understanding is going to shift and change something. Any sort of growing. You reading a book changes the things that you do and the way that you do what you do anyway. Any sort of interaction and learning changes you in terms of your culture.
But I have accepted that.
Them coming across a plant or a tree that then is able to heal or taste a certain way, then changes the way that they do what they do.
No, but here's the difference. When I take that book, I've made the conscious decision that I am able to shift and change my world by doing this. The people
even an unintentional interaction that we have is not sort of your deciding.
Let me finish. The thing is, these people are uncontacted. They have boats. They have things. They are able to leave the place and find other things, but they've decided that they don't want to do that. So you have now come into their space saying that, no, I want to come bring my thing. They have not, what's it called? They have not necessarily agreed to it. They've agreed for you coming here. They haven't agreed for you to change their entire world and their thought process.
Every interaction you have changes the way you think or the way you do what you do, whether it's intentional or not, whether you've decided you want to change that thing or not.
I accept that.
Okay, hold on. I agree with you both. But I'm gonna bring it closer to home because we went right to the end, right? Traditional wedding versus white wedding. White wedding is something that was brought in by Murungu, right? Traditional wedding was bringing a goat and saying, this girl, we're done. I'm done. You know what I mean? But now you get a situation whereby you finish that process and you now say, we want our wife. And the father or the representative will say, nah, y'all gotta wait until you've done the white wedding. Christian or not, Christian or not, you've got to do your chapter.
We didn't do our homework.
Come on.
The one wife.
That chapter. You know what I mean?
32 or something.
32 or 57. 116. So we've got a point where a culture has been brought in, right, of white weddings, when we've already got a cultural wedding that is there. And we've kind of now said, this one is more of a, you do it to appease those who still find it valuable, but this is the more important one. Right? Now, I don't want to go to the extreme that you went to. This is bringing in a culture that is now almost surpassed what this used to be for us. And I remember someone who I think we all know posting on Facebook and saying the importance of Rora, which is your traditional wedding, versus this wedding here. Now, I understand what you're saying, to say, the moment I read this thing, my view of street photography is going to change like that. I think that is unavoidable. But for me, I go back to, what are some of the things that are being erased, from your point, that are being erased or surpassed by different cultures. You know what I mean?
Was the word he used.
That's the one. That's the one. So what are those things that we are now saying, okay, maybe this was a bit too much? Because I am not against someone going and preaching to someone about Jesus, because that's my belief. What I am concerned about is the way that he did it. So I'm saying he shouldn't have gone. He's saying he shouldn't have gone because it's wrong. You're supplanting. I'm saying he shouldn't have gone because he's been stupid, because he's gone as one person and he didn't make it past the beach.
This is sort of weird way. I think there's a big difference between the guy who comes and says, hey, here's a piece of knowledge, do what you, this is what I believe, sort of understood, do what you do with it. Then your guys who came with guns and said, okay, here's a piece of knowledge, we're now going to do this. So even this guy we're describing, he went by himself, in your opinion, foolishly, but he had no intent of, even if he did, he was dumb about overtaking, overpowering, shifting this entire culture and making them now believe or do what he did.
But so wait. So you think, in your opinion, he was
from the information that I know, I don't think, maybe he could have done it better, but I was full on, go for it. Talk to the people, immerse yourself in their culture, learn from them, teach them what you know, exchange ideas and grow.
Oh, so Hansi, he was very well prepared. John Chau, 27, was killed on North Sentinel Island earlier this month. He had trained with All Nations, a Christian missionary group based in Kansas City.
Kansas.
The group said Chau paid his own way to the remote island and was acting alone despite training with them for a year. Its leader said he had been planning to go to North Sentinel since he was 18. His body is still on the island, and human rights groups are urging police to leave it there. They say that other attempts to reach the island could wipe out the 30,000-year-old tribe. That's the other thing to mention. Like, because we have modern diseases and whatnot, our version of the flu, which we're used to, could actually wipe out this tribe, which has been there for hundreds of years without our modern flu. The 30,000-year-old tribe, that's crazy. A friend said on Tuesday that they believe Chau may still be alive on the island. Anyway. We can't do this Tupac-ish, bro. Let him go. Let him go. Give him to God.
Do you think Tupac's alive?
We're not studying that one.
Tupac? What about Tupac? Missionary to the hip hoppers.
What I'm reading here is like the Indian authorities have already filed a murder case against the tribe, and they're holding some of the fishermen who helped Chau get there on other charges. So his family in Washington State has urged them to release the fishermen, claiming their son's death was no one's fault but his own. That's rough.
Oh, you're so shocked.
Because his family's like,
Not his fault.
I feel the same way though.
this is after 9 years.
My G, you understood what was, you knew where you were going.
They were probably there for years tuning on. What are you
Leave this alone.
Let it go.
So
Please.
good.
They probably let him go to train with that
Go to
group.
Zim.
Come to Kansas.
Come back to Kansas. Kansas needs you. After finding out that his parents were like, yo, or his family were like, yo,
This one.
leave him.
It's so dying.
You can't even
Don't
call
sue
him a
anybody.
martyr anymore, can you?
Don't even.
He's been denied.
Take away his monetary status.
His family's like, no, we don't even know him anymore.
Let him shine.
From 18 years.
Shame.
Did he even have a mentor? What was his mentor say? Oh, to the sentinels. Like, what are they called? Sentinel.
Sentinelese.
Manzi unabara, apundiri bodzana.